Entrepreneurs Channel TV, creating a platform of expression for every woman.
Good afternoon, viewers. My name is Faith Jumo. You are welcome to another edition of Amazons in Enterprise. With us in the studio today is a woman of many parts, a woman doing something very rare. She is a herbalist by profession, Mrs. CHRISTIANA OLAPADE OJO. You are welcome to the studio, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
You are very good, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Please, ma'am, I want you to introduce yourself to our viewers.
Thank you again for having me. Like you said, my name is CHRISTIANA OLAPADE OJO, and I'm a clinical herbalist. I'm a second-generation practitioner. My father, of blessed memory, Professor Ebenezer Olapade, was a geneticist and a professor of ethnomedicine. He founded the NAL organization, the Natural Resources Laboratories Clinic. We also have a college, we have a foundation, we have a consult, and we've been practicing since 1979. I remember, running around in the house practicing right from our sitting room, and it's been a roller coaster of testimonies since then, with a compilation of several conditions that we have successfully managed using herbal preparations since 1979 up till date. Yeah, and I run the clinic now.
Oh, that's nice, ma'am. Why this venture and how did it start?
Like I mentioned, it started because practically I was born into it, literally. I was born into the practice, and then, because our dad didn't hold back from us, he allowed us into his practice. We sort of developed passion and interest in what he was doing, and over time, I just made up my mind that this is what I'm going to do for a living, this is what I'm going to do in my life. I became passionate about, helping people with herbs, helping people to get well. And I studied along that line. I got my first degree, for instance, in botany. I got a second one in ethnomedicine. I also attended courses in pharmacognosy. I trained as an alternative, as an auxiliary nurse. I did trainings in clinical techniques, so many trainings here and there, in pharmacy courses and all of that. So it's been able to, all of these things, I've been able to structure my practice in the way that I want it to be, So to a large extent, I dare say that it started as a result of what I was born into. Call it chance, and then I built on it, yes.
So, ma, is this venture your first port of call in the business world?
I must say yes. I must say yes, considering the fact that I was born into it anyway. So yes, it is my first point of call as, an enterprise, a business, as an entrepreneur, yes.
So, ma, can you please enlighten us more on herbs and plants?
Thank you very much. Plants. I love plants. Plants are our source of life, so to say. Yeah, of course. Plants were the third day creation by God, and the truth is, no other life form can survive without plants, because even God said that we should use them as foods and as medicines, religiously speaking. And then if we look at it from the scientific perspective, plants have so many characteristics. The first and primary and most important one being the fact that they breathe out oxygen, which we need for survival. Oxygen is what they are more like, our atmospheric purifier. When we fell trees, rather, it's to our own detriment, because they don't just provide cover from the radiation of the sun. They help to protect our ozone layer. They also help to protect our soil and our air. So apart from the fact that they play that atmospheric role, they also play the role of providing food. You have to eat. So all our foods are sourced from plants. And apart from that, coming to what I do, they are source of raw materials to provide, to prepare herbal medicines. So plants are very essential, very important.
So, what other venture are you involved in?
So many. For one, I've ventured into production of herbal products, that I put out there in the shelf. In 2004, we were able to register our first product, which we started dispensing. In fact, that is why, our slogan says since 1979. Our first product, which is the Agbojedi, we call it PPR Herbal Remedy, which is the most effective mixture for the reversal of hemorrhoids, be it internal hemorrhoids or external. And it was presented in Netherlands in 1991 by my late dad as you know, a remedy for the reversal of piles, hemorrhoids, and anal prolapse. Anal prolapse is when the rectum pulls out. When you use PPR, it reverses it. So we're able to put that on the shelf, list it with NAFDAC, and it's been doing a wonderful job. So that got me, it pulled me out of clinical practice, sort of, and got me into the business world, where you have to look at sales, you have to look at marketing, branding, and all of those things. And I had to start attending courses to develop my business acumen as well, you know. And I think till today I'm still a student of business administration, and you know, it's been helping me a great deal. Yeah.
So how did you get your initial working capital?
Well, I think I'm one of the lucky few, because I'm a second generation practitioner. I already had a foundation to build on, but that doesn't mean I started with zero capital. Yes, I had to start by saving up, which I even used to teach upcoming entrepreneurs as well. Your first capital must come from your own savings, because that is what will show that you are serious. If you come to me and you tell me you have 100,000 naira venture you want to start, the first question I ask you is, how much do you have out of the 100,000? If you say you have nothing, I'll just see you as unserious. So most of the time, I saved up for, you know, those other businesses that I wanted to go into. Like for instance, in the course of clinical practice, there are some products that we are saying they are very effective. 100, we can say 100, although in medical statistics you can say 100% efficacy, but yes, they are very effective with no side effect and all of that. One of such is our sickle cell tincture, and I'm saving up to develop that, you know, enterprise. So that is one thing. I wouldn't go and take a loan to develop that, for instance, because it's a business on its own, and I shouldn't be dipping my hand into an existing business. At least that is one lesson I've learned from business management. I shouldn't dip my hand into an existing business to service another business that I haven't tested in the market yet. So I always tell people, save to start up. When you have saved and you have started up, start up first, so that you would even learn from your startup. You learn from your mistakes. Most of the time, it's very rare for people to start up and eat the roof at the first attempt. There would always be opportunities for failures, because failure in itself is a lesson. You have to fail to be a better business person. So you fail, you rise again, you fail, you rise again, and by the time you're launching for real.
So how profitable is the business?
Yeah, I must say it puts food on the table. It's able to sustain itself, you know. So it is profitable. It's sustainable, so to say. But unfortunately, in an economy like Nigeria, even a so-called profitable business, I would, you know, need to stand against the tide. So well, it puts food on the table and it sustains the enterprise.
How many products do you have at the moment?
Wow. There are two categories of products now. It's a long list. But let me talk about the ones listed with NAFDAC first. We have the one I mentioned earlier, the Agojeti, which is the PPR herbal remedy that relieves piles and anal prolapse. That is listed with NAFDAC, and you know, we have that being distributed by our distributors all over the country and even outside the country. We have the now Mr. Tea, which is also listed with NAFDAC, and then we have the Prostanol herbal remedy. There are other pharmaceutical drugs like the sulfametode do that, which only stops the gland from extending further, but it doesn't reduce it back to its normal size. Prostanol was presented in Hungary, in Budapest, Hungary in 2004, and was considered the best mixture for the reversal of prostate enlargement in men. So when my dad came back from that conference, he made sure that the product got listed with NAFDAC, and you know, people have been enjoying the benefits of Prostanol since then. So aside that three that is listed with NAFDAC, we have other products that are not listed with NAFDAC, so we sell it only within the confines of our clinic. We have our anti-malaria powder, which is, it clears malaria parasites 100%. We have our sickle cell tincture, we have the hypertension vegetable soup, we have the hypertension oil, we have the cancer oil, we have the bold that helps with anemia, at least when maybe someone with a PCV of 17%, when they use it within 72 hours, it elevates it to about 21%, it's that effective. We have a castor cream that we use for body pains. We have the virus cream and virus soap that we use for viral outbreak skin, like measles and the rest of it. We have the Filron, the FIL, we have the Panda tonic, and the heart oil that we use for heart conditions, especially palpitations and angina, which are all, as a result, complications of cardiovascularitis. We also have what we call the ribbon oil, which we also use for high blood pressure. We have the migraine soap, like the name says, it helps with migraine. We have a variety of, we have like the mistletoe tea I mentioned that we use for the reversal of breast lump. We have so many other mixtures that are not labeled, which we just code for fibroid, for ovarian cyst, for asthma, for memory loss, for low sperm count. I always love to talk about low sperm count because of my encounter with a particular young man that dared me that, his low sperm count is incurable. And I said, okay, you know what, I'm going to give you this mixture. And when your low sperm count becomes okay, you are going to pay double. And he was like, okay, let's go for it, doctor. And it was okay within 12 weeks. Within 3 months, his sperm was boosted because we had him do a seminalisis before we administered the powder, and then he did another one after. And in fact, he went to do it without my knowledge. And I was like, doctor, my sperm count is, So I always love to refer to that one. We also have things we use for menstrual pain, for instance, ovarian cysts. We have things that we use for early stages of cancer. We have cancer tonic, because I always tell people, once cancer gets to a certain stage, that it has already started breaking down the body's immunity, it's usually very difficult to reverse. That's why we always encourage checkup. In fact, we have our own advocacy, which we use our foundation to do. We go around to different groups of people in different walks of life, retired people, people who are actively engaged, young people, and we encourage them at least once a year. If you are still under 30, once in 2 years, try and go for comprehensive medical checkup, so that there are some conditions that can actually be nipped in the bud if you do that regularly. And the moment you cross 40, you should at least make sure that you do your comprehensive checkup every year. You could make it a birthday present. You don't have to be sick before you go for comprehensive checkup. So I'm using this opportunity to also encourage people, go for comprehensive checkup. You don't have to be sick before you go to hospital. In fact, it's best for a healthy person to go for checkup. Check your heart, check comprehensive blood test, check your HIV status, HPV, check if you have malaria, check your vital, check all of those things, your hormones. Just tell the doctors know what to do. I'm not a diagnostician, but I always encourage people, go for checkup, so that when you know what your health status is, it would even help to guide your diets, how you exercise, and your general lifestyle.
So how do you promote all these products?
Well, social media is a lifesaver. We put our products on social media. Well, I dare say that since 1979 that we have commercialized the practice. Every single person that has walked through our door to ask for our service has been referred by someone who has benefited from our service in the past. So our organization now has been surviving on referrals till today. We are 40 years old, or we will be 40 years old, and we've been surviving on referrals. So that says something about what we have to offer. Someone comes in and says, oh, someone you treated, so place told me to come see you because we did a good job with that person. So aside that, as a hospital, we don't do advert because it's against the ethics of medical practice. But yes, we do put our products up in the space out there, in the social media space, and then we're trying to do, like I told you, the business aspect of the practice is something that we are just developing. We've always been in the clinical practice unit.
So how long have you been in the business?
I was born into it, literally. So I've been in it all my life, but officially, after I graduated, and then I was certified by the OJO State Ministry of Health in 2002, and I've been practicing since then. So I can say for like 17 years, I've been in clinical practice.
So how can a woman stay in perfect health?
Fantastic. That's a complicated one. The first thing every woman needs to know is you can't solve every problem, and stop trying to be a superhero. So clear your mind of problems. Don't worry about tomorrow if tomorrow is not yet here. Worry about today, solve today's problem. If you can adjust your mind not to worry, you have solved more than 30% of your health problems. And then the next thing you must always work on as a woman is your diet. Don't joke with your diet. You don't need to fall sick before you start eating healthy. Just like I said earlier, do your regular checkups. Once you know your health condition, if you are perfectly healthy, you don't want to become unhealthy. So you don't want to eat junk food, you want to eat healthy, you want to eat organic. So you're eating a lot of vegetables, you're not going around eating doughs and pizzas and deep fried stuff and chicken and a lot of people think, oh, that's good living, evidence of good living. But no, it's you're destroying your health, you're destroying your body, you're damaging, you're putting a lot of load on your liver. Because the body naturally through the liver produces its own cholesterol. So when you consume external cholesterol, you're putting more workload on these organs. So if you understand how the body works, the first thing you need to understand as a woman, understand how your body works. When you understand how your body works, you know how to give it the ideal nutrition. So, you eat right, drink a lot of water, hydrate very well, rest very well. You can only rest if you can free your mind of worries. So rest very well. At least make sure you are sleeping nothing less than 7 hours every day. Make sure you are sleeping nothing less. I know that the family, your work, career is there, but you have to be healthy so that you can be there for your family. If you are not healthy, then you become a burden on your family. So the best way for you to live healthy, clear your mind of worries, eat healthy, exercise. Exercise is in two forms, physical and mental exercise. And mental exercise can be achieved through interaction, healthy interaction. Make sure you are always gainfully engaged, productively engaged, having conversations. It's very dangerous to keep to yourself. So look for opportunities to associate with like minds and people that will add value to your passion. Try and associate with them. That's mental exercise. Then physical exercise, don't joke with it. Whatever is your passion, if it's early morning jog, if it's late evening walk, if it's swimming, if it's cycling, golfing like me, please don't joke with it. Always try to exercise your body. It's very important. And lastly, make sure you're always communing with your God in whatever way you know how to. It gives you a healthy, because well-being can be physical, mental, and spiritual. All that I have said is for physical and mental well-being. Spiritual well-being, you have to be in constant communication with your maker. So that gives you a holistic positivity to life.
Entrepreneurs Channel TV, creating a platform of expression for every woman.
What's your take on women empowerment?
Very essential. Empower the woman, empower the world. when you empower a woman through whatever means, be it education, be it allowing her to express her potentials and all of that, be it funding her dreams, you are empowering not just that woman, you're empowering everyone that is tied to her existence, her children, our siblings, in fact, because women are that dedicated. We look out for everyone, the whole community. That's the woman's nature. So a society that does not empower its women is doing so at its own detriment. That's why you see that any progressive environment or society are societies that pay detailed attention to their women population. But when you see societies that are at war, that are going down, they are societies that are suppressing potentials of their female folk.
So how can we reduce unemployment in Nigeria?
Wow, that's a $1 million question, because that's not something an individual, the problem of unemployment is not a problem that an individual can solve. It's something, I hate to refer to government, because expecting anything from the government, it's like, I don't know really. But I hope that they will wake up one day and know that when they empower the youth, when they empower the women, it is for the good of national economy. So there is no way we can empower youth without, without our government getting involved in this, empowerment drive. So how can we empower the youth? As individuals, we can start by mentorship. Look for, you know, 1 or 2 people around you that you can mentor, and then the youth themselves should start looking for, you know, industries that are into things they are passionate about, and then offer their services, and in the process identify a mentor that can guide them in a path, in a chosen path that can help build their career. So the first way that youths can be empowered is through mentorship by individuals, and then through financial empowerment. And not only, because empowerment is not only financial. There are some youths that the problem they have is not even money at the moment. It is how to get their businesses registered. Opening a bank account, getting a TIN number, a tax identification number, TIN, you know, getting, renting, getting an office space, employing labor. You know, they just can't wrap their head around getting these things done. So empowerment is not only giving people money. When you give some people money, you have not solved their problems. Some people, their problem is networking. So there are different ways of empowering people. But what the government can do is create an enabling environment for youths that are ready to, you know, launch themselves into the investment world. And then, as an individual, if you consider yourself someone who has done well in your field, if anyone approaches you to be mentored, don't give it your all.
So how can the government encourage women in business?
In many ways, in so many ways. You know, we keep trying to say that everything is not about money, but still, it's still about money, because we really can't do much without money. I think the first thing that the government needs to look at is funding existing businesses. Businesses that they consider, okay, this is a productive enterprise, this woman is doing well. Fund their businesses. The government should even carry out an experiment or a study. Loans that are being returned. Who are the people that returns loans the most? It is women, because we are very reliable. Women folk, we are reliable, we are dependable, and as such, we don't like anything to tarnish our image. We protect family names even more than the men, so to say. Yes, so we're always worried about, I don't want anybody to spoil my name. So when we take loans, we always return it. Government should do an experiment and even give grants to women and say, okay, these grants, we want it back in maybe a couple of years, whatever business you want to do, 100,000 grants, 1 million grants, 10 million grants, and see if these women will not return it. Give us 0%, you know, interest loans. These are realistic things, that because when they mention that they are empowering women, giving them double-digit loans, we end up just servicing these loans for a long time. It's not as if business is that is returning that much that you now be returning double-digit loans. It's usually unrealistic. So if government wants to help, they should make grants readily available to existing businesses. They can easily do feasibility studies and look out for existing businesses they can support.
So have you gone to any business school in the course of running your enterprise?
Yes, I have attended short courses in businesses. You know, I mentioned that I wasn't a business person before, and then I started looking at how I can develop a business out of my practice. So I attended some courses, and then we learned about branding, marketing, sales, and all of those things. And it's not like, I wouldn't say, I don't like to think that I've attended a business school and then that is the end of it. No, I'm a continuous, I love learning. So I'm a continuous learner. I'm always a student, and I'm always open to learning new things. In fact, I'm always open to refreshing memory on the things that I've learned in the past. So I'm always attending short courses and there, because most of the time when you are a business person and you're busy, you never really have time to leave your business and go and attend a 2-3 weeks. No, it's usually maybe 2-3 days short courses. You attend these things and then it adds value to what you're doing.
So in the next 5 years, where do you see your business?
Wow, that's a big one. In another 5 years, yes, I want to be the largest manufacturer, the largest maker of Mr. Tutti in Africa, not just in Nigeria, in Africa.
Who are your mentors and why have you chosen them?
Wow, that's inspiring. First of all, my greatest mentor in life is God. Yes, Jesus Christ. His words, I don't joke with them. I keep learning and relearning them. You know, everything he said, everything he thought. Secondly, my second mentor is my dad. He's not just my mentor, my dad of blessed memory. He's my teacher, he's my hero, you know. if he didn't teach me some things, there were so many life lessons that my dad taught me. And when I look back today, I'm like, wow, this man was a great teacher. I'll give you 2 examples. There was a time, you know, when I finished secondary school, I was like, Daddy, I want to be working with you. And he was like, hey, what can you do? I was like, whatever job you give me, I'll do. And this is one thing, you know, I always encourage parents now, whatever you're doing, don't lock your children out. Always allow them to be involved in your business. Give them responsibilities, and you know, pay them. As young as I was then, my dad was paying me salary. It was very little then, but you know, I was feeling like I looked forward to the end of the month to earn my wages. So I started working with him, and he would send me to get Tribune papers. Was a columnist in Tribune then. And I can't remember how much Tribune was, maybe 14 naira, maybe 16 naira or something. So I'll use the 10 naira change to buy puff and eat. You know, so my dad did not say anything. I'll give him paper, I'll be like my change. A particular month, he deducted all his change, which was about 15 naira, gave me my balance. And trust, I was like, Dad, my money is not complete. It was like, all my change, I've deducted it. Then when I can't trust you with 10 naira, then I can't trust you with 10 million. And then each time I remember that lesson, if I can't trust you with 10, and I've taught that to other people that I've mentored, fine. It was money that he could just have dashed me as. He dashes me more than that, you know. But for him to now, it was a life lesson he needed to teach me, and I think I held on to that, and it made me a really accountable person. I'm not the kind of person that anyone will keep money with, and I would even be too worried to take a cover out of it, because he has raised me to be accountable with whatever, you know, is put in my care. The second lesson I learned from my dad, which till today, you know, is also helping me out. I had a little challenge at work with some members of staff, and you know, I went to him, I was like, Daddy, this, that. He was like, I don't want to be involved. Sort it out. And then I was really angry and stuff. And then I came back and was like, look, you are behaving like a woman. And I said, but Daddy, I'm a woman. He was like, no, never let your biology define you. It takes anybody, you know, you can be male, you can be female, but real men solve problems. Real men are problem solvers, whether they are female or they are male. Real men solve problems. So go and solve that problem. That is what in Kotoma sweat that is what will make you a man. And I was like, you know, for a long time, I battled with that in my head. I was like, real men solve problems. And then I started to see biological roles, the way we are made, whether we are male and female. I started to see it as a separate thing from manhood. And then I realized that the society has misguided us in the definition of manhood in a way to kind of keep a certain block of the society, which is the female folk, in a corner, to box them up in a corner. The truth is, it takes real men solve problems. And the problem we have today is you find males, biological males, who are not men, claiming to be men, and they are adding to the problem because they don't even know what makes anyone a man. A real man is meant to be a problem solver. And then from that day on, I stopped seeing myself as, you know, dependent. I started to look at myself as a problem solver. Because I believed my father's words that real men solve problems. Go and solve that problem. And that day, I resolved that problem without any rancor. Nobody got sacked, you know. Everybody was happy. I don't know where that wisdom came from. I was just able to resolve it because I believe in what my father said, that real men solve problems. Go and solve that problem, you know. So I think to a large extent, my father mentored me into becoming what I've become today. And then thirdly, maybe the third categories of people I'll call my mentor. I say people because it's not just one person. Are my clients, my patients. I get to learn a lot from them. Even though they think that I'm the one helping them, most of the time they are helping me. You know, by the time they tell me stories, by the time they tell me their situation, I'm able to learn a lot from what has happened to them and how it has probably affected their present situation, why they have come to see me. For instance, I've learned now that, you know, Unhappiness has a great deal, depression and unhappiness has a great deal to do with manifestation of certain diseases, especially breast cancer, especially high blood pressure. You find out that a lot of women that present breast cancer, they are in unhappy relationships. And then could it just be that if only they were in happier relationships, maybe they wouldn't have presented breast cancer? It's just a guess. But by the time, like 98% of the people presenting this situation have one unhappy story to tell, especially about their relationships or the disappointments they have experienced over one child or the other. And they started getting depressed, and then they noticed this thing, not just in one person, the other. So I'm able to advise other women who haven't started experiencing these conditions. And I'm like, look, that's why when you asked me about how women can stay healthy, the first thing is clear your minds of worry, be happy. Because when you're not happy, you're opening the door for diseases to come in. And then I also learned that if a man wants to live a happy after 60s, 70s, you better treat the wife of your youth very well. A lot of my clients, men, who are now in very terrible situations in old age, their wives practically, indirectly abandons them, claiming to go and be taking care of grandchildren. Canada today, US tomorrow, UK the next. They don't want to attend to Baba anymore because he has treated them badly. When they were young in marriage, and the man himself would even be condemning himself that, oh, he knows he deserves it, he has treated this woman badly. And then all those women he was frolicking with, when he had money and health, they are nowhere to be found, So I'm able to relate, I'm able to use their experience to advise other men who are not yet in their situation or who are probably making the same mistake those men made. And they see me as, oh, she's so full of wisdom. No, I just learned it from, from someone else. So that's why I say the third categories of mentors that I have are my clients. Yeah.
So how can one help an upcoming entrepreneur?
I think the greatest help any established entrepreneur can offer an upcoming is to mentor them, if they will make themselves available for mentorship. Mentorship is something that every entrepreneur must be willing to offer for free. Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.